Hello viewers and welcome to a bit more action from the Project Cars US race car pack, which was released yesterday. Recorded this yesterday as well. A quick run in the Corvette around the Nordschleife. The Nordschleife, not a circuit I run regularly, but I thought, you know, let's just have a tour. I haven't driven this circuit in a year. And I thought, hey, let's investigate here. Now, I couldn't see my rev lights, unfortunately. I needed to alter my seat position. I hadn't, just a little bit high in the car, but it doesn't really matter, because I just want to give you guys a look at this car in action. Now, the big difference is here. Now, I'm going to mention later, actually, the fact that the side screens are slightly off kind of affects me a little bit more in this car. I'll mention that again later, but general feel of the car, obviously jumping out of an Indy car straight into this one, it feels really slow. It moves around a lot on its suspension, has lots of power, a lot of grunt to the engine. The rear view cam there is essential in terms of being able to see what's behind me. Trying to carry speed through there, you can see not much more speed left there, a little lift and just throwing it in there. The car itself, obviously it's a big heavy thing, moves around a lot, and its sort of tyres and suspension take time to really understand how to maximise your speed. Obviously it's a long time since I've driven this circuit. Drove this circuit a lot in Project Gotham Racing 3, but I've never been a Nordschleife fan myself. You know, some people become specialists and they race it all day, but I've just never been. I like shorter laps myself. But, it's a great course for testing cars. I'm slowing down a bit more than I needed to there. Just not so certain where the braking points are, and again slowing here, but just a bit heavier, slowing down. The rear end just stepping out on me. Managed to keep control, got on the brakes, down 2 gears and kept it together. That could have been curtains for me, but managed to make it through. So yeah, I mean, it's a heavy car, so I mean, I suppose you're looking at different sort of mid-range sort of GT cars that are out there, you know, your Roofs and your McLaren 12C and stuff like that, GT, and the McLaren's probably the one I'm most comfortable in. I enjoy driving the Roof, but this car is quite challenging. You can really get wheel spin quite easily. As for gearing and torque, difficult to say on this particular video. I couldn't see my rev lights there on the tachometer, so it's I was just basically having a cruise and having to feel what it was like. But overall, it feels nice. It's another nice addition. It is what it is, isn't it? It's a big, heavy car. Really, it'd be good to race something like this on Le Mans. You know, it's a much more stable circuit. There's a lot of undulation on this circuit to throw you about a bit. I think that's why it's such a challenge here. And here I'm just going in on the power, but get a bit of wheel spin. Managed to keep it together, but losing a place in the process. Still needing to sort of assess which gears for which corners in this car. And I'm using the AI car in front to assess braking points at the moment, because I didn't know, so it kind of helped to have a car in front of me. This flat out section, which for me is a lot easier with a wheel than it used to be with a pad. You can just relax more here. Sixth gear isn't happening, is it? We're trying to get sixth, but it's just not progressing up. So being a bit more tentative through here. I knew there might be a slight lift, but I lift a little bit too much here. A bit more speed to be found there. Braking as we come up on the carousel. Car's getting in okay, going down a gear. I think I could have done with being in a lower gear a couple of times there. Preparing my braking. CPU card or AI just jumping in there. Unfortunately, it just completely threw me off and unbalanced the car through there, and that's kind of it really. It was a bit of a lunge, wasn't it? Just as I'm entering that, because you've got to kind of stabilise the car and prepare it. If you don't get in the right place, it will just spit you out. So when you do end up on the outside like that, unless you're just cruising around the outside and you plan for it, it's a little bit of a bumpy ride. Into the back end of the course now, the twisty section. and it worked pretty well here. I actually improve a lot as I'm going through here. I start to get a better understanding of the car handling through here. And the car does have a lot of grip to it. So as long as you're progressive with the acceleration, you'll find that there's good grip in the car. And, you know, depending on the torque output, it seems to grip better in the higher gears through here. You can see I'm in a higher gear, but it's certainly handling a bit better. Just learning where the speed is. I'd need to do lots of laps obviously to really maximise this car, but I'm going to try this car out on some other circuits that I know better, just to see in terms of lap time. I should make a lap time comparison actually between some of the different cars, just to see where the stock tunes end up on them at least. Over the jump, you can see the sun setting there, nice effect. Latter parts of the lap now. Could have been a bit quicker through there. I was being a bit tentative because I'm near the end of the lap and I'm thinking, you know, let's just finish the race. I'm aware there was a car nearly bumping into me in the same place there, and that was the thing I was mentioning. I looked over to my left, and of course the mirror is not where it should be. It's slightly askewed and it kind of threw off my vision slightly there. It's a lot more effect in this car than it is in, say, the Indy car, which is at your side. So the mirror is actually where my shoulder is, not at a 10 o'clock position. It's at a 9 o'clock or 11 o'clock position. It's actually at a 9 o'clock position to me. So I realised, right, that's worse than useless. So a bit frustrating now when able to sort of flow around the final few corners. Now we're on this big long straight and I'm thinking, oh dear, honestly don't have a clue where I'm going to brake here, so I'm going to pick an old braking point that normally makes the corner. Going off and gently braking down, a bit more braking. You know, it's always so easy to bin it at the end of the lap. I'm a gear too high here. Didn't actually know what gear I was in. Couldn't see it behind the wheel at the time. I know it's in the corner. But that's it for the Corvette. Quick run on the Nordschleife. Getting a bit dark now, isn't it? And there'll be more from me very soon.